The 2017 British general election explained. The UK will hold a surprise election this June. British Prime Minister Theresa May led calls for one earlier this week, and lawmakers voted in favor of the ballot on Wednesday. But why was it unexpected? UK law stipulates that each elected government should hold power for a fixed 5-year term before another election can occur. The current Conservative administration was elected in May 2015, with the next public ballot scheduled for May 2020. For an early election to occur, 2/3 of the 650 UK lawmakers need to vote in favor of it. On Wednesday, 522 voted for it to go ahead. The unelected May took over from ex-PM David Cameron after the public voted for Brexit in a referendum last June. She hopes the election will give her a mandate and nullify post-Brexit vote divisions among the British electorate. But the move could cripple the already unpopular opposition Labour Party, led by Jeremy Corbyn. The Parliament consists of 650 seats, of which Conservatives hold 330 and Labour holds 229. Other seats are held by smaller parties. And because of Labour's unpopularity, May and the Conservatives are expected to win even more seats. But hey, the bookies were wrong about Trump and Brexit, and there's every chance they could be wrong about this as well. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Wondering how the UK got here? Don't worry, we got you covered. Bad British jokes incoming.
Graveheart. Cameron worried as Scottish independence vote goes down to the wire. After 2 years and several months of campaigning by both sides, the referendum on Scottish independence is still too close to call ahead of Thursday's vote. The No campaign was so far ahead for so long that it became complacent. But momentum from the Glasgow Commonwealth Games has seen the Yes campaign make up ground. Just last week, a YouGov poll put the Yes campaign ahead for the first time. Buoyed by the poll, Alex Salmond began preparing for victory. But he failed to foresee the backlash by businesses worried about the economic uncertainty a Yes vote will bring. Salmond, who has bet Scotland's future financial stability on North Sea oil, has also had to deal with bleak predictions about just exactly how much oil is left. Her Majesty, meanwhile, has vowed to remain neutral, but urged Scots to think carefully. Palace sources say she is unhappily preparing for life as the monarch who saw the breakup of the Union. As a last resort, the No campaign has released a joint promise to devote more power in return for a No. But we here in Taiwan understand that no amount of false promises are enough to sate a people's desire for freedom! So, people and unicorns of Scotland on Thursday vote yes!
Hip, hip, hooray! The UK is saved! Scotland will remain part of the United Kingdom! No! Yes, yes, yes!
No!
Yes, yes, jolly good yes!
No!
No! No!
Scotland has voted not to become an independent nation by a margin somewhat higher than late polls were predicting. Turnout was well over 80%, and while rural areas mostly voted no, even big cities such as Edinburgh and Aberdeen also elected to stay in the United Kingdom. What's next? Well, for starters, First Minister Alex Salmond is expected to fall on his own sword and resign his post. North Sea oil will continue to fatten the pockets of rich and powerful Englishmen.
Yes, quite.
And Her Majesty and Prime Minister Cameron will not have to go down in history as the ones who lost Scotland. And all in all, Scotland will continue to be enslaved by the English and live under the cruel dominion. But don't count out the Scots yet, because you can take our land, you can take our oil, you can take our women, but you'll never take our freedom!
Electoral dysfunction as UK poll heads for hung parliament. Britain goes to the polls on Thursday in an election in which no one looks like they're going to win an outright majority. Meaning another hung parliament. The rise of the anti-immigration United Kingdom Independence Party has weakened support for the British Conservatives, forcing David Cameron into promising a risky referendum on Britain's EU membership. While in an ironic twist following its close defeat in September's Scottish independence referendum, the Scottish National Party now looks set to play the role of kingmaker in forming a British government. With no party guaranteed a majority, it seems that David Cameron will have to try and rekindle his love-hate relationship with whatever remains of Nick Clegg's Lib Dems. If that fails, Ed Miliband's Labour will get a chance to pair up with someone. Otherwise, it's back to the ballot box.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Hard lefty Comrade Corbyn set to win UK Labour leadership election. The Labour Party are the yang to the Conservative yin, but following ex-leader Ed Miliband's electoral cock-up, the party fractured. Next week, the party will have elected a new leader, and it's widely expected to be hard leftist Jeremy Corbyn. Why? His competitors, to put it simply, are cardboard cutouts, and he's the only one who has substance. But who is this Labour Party relic? Well, according to the Tory media, he's the 66-year-old love child of a Lenin, Marx, and Trotsky threesome. Among other things, Comrade Corbyn's been an MP since 1983, absolutely despises austerity, wants the UK nuclear arsenal disbanded, and, if elected, would even apologize for the Iraq War. Despite Corbyn's award-winning beard, whether the whole of the UK would elect a hard leftist Prime Minister remains to be seen. But if they do, imagine the following scenario. In 2016, the Donald is elected president, and in 2020, Corbyn Prime Minister. Suddenly, the UK and the USA's special relationship doesn't seem so special anymore, eh? Putin must be rubbing his hands in anticipation.
Electoral majority, call me Dave gets his mojo back. So the UK has voted, and despite all polls predicting another hung parliament, David Cameron has won handsomely, even earning an unexpected majority. As predicted, the SNP obliterated all comers north of the border, meaning there will be over 50 Scottish politicians rattling the Westminster chambers over the term of the next British Parliament. And while Lib Dem leader Nick Clegg just managed to hold on to his own seat, his party's position as a third force in UK politics was absolutely shattered. Anti-immigration party UKIP failed to live up to the hype, leaving leader Nigel Farage on a political scrap heap with a couple of other individuals who didn't impress the electorate. Cameron and the markets, meanwhile, will be happy that he no longer needs a coalition partner, but their joy will be tempered by the looming uncertainty of his promised referendum on EU membership.
To Brexit or not to Brexit? That is the question. This Thursday, Britain votes on its 4-decade membership of the European Union, with the option to remain in or Brexit out of the 28-country political economic alliance. Brits are dead split over the EU. And when figures on both sides of the debate are talking out of their asses with half-truths and threats, we honestly can't blame them. The Brexit crowd reckons leaving the EU would return immigration control and sovereignty, and make Britain great again. They wonder if they mean empire. The Remain bunch, meanwhile, prophesies of nothing but the UK's impending doom should Brexit happen. A leave vote may spell the downfall of the EU and the UK herself, while remaining might well result in a United States of Europe. Either way, it'll go to the wire, and Europe will never be the same after the votes are tallied on June 23rd, 2016.
Britain says cheerio to the EU in historic Brexit vote. In a nail-biter ballot, the British public showed up in droves and voted to say Auf Wiedersehen to the 28-member, oh wait, we mean 27-member, EU bloc. The loss means Remain backer Prime Minister David Cameron will soon be out of a job. The historic vote means the UK will leave the EU after 4 decades, and sets former London Mayor Boris Johnson up to lead the British Conservative Party. The GTFO campaign won primarily because its supporters want immigrants to GTFO. UKIP leader Nigel Farage declared independence following the ballot victory. The vote left financial markets in turmoil. The British pound weakened as much as 11% against the greenback. Maybe we should call it the ounce. A weaker pound will make British property and other assets cheaper for foreign investors. But hey, if you're American, looks like it's a perfect time to visit Buckingham Palace. And since the EU vote didn't go their way, the Scots will likely hold a second independence referendum. Oh well, at least we'll get to watch that Braveheart sequel we've all been waiting for. Freedom!
UK Supreme Court rules Brexit needs okay from Parliament.
British Prime Minister Theresa May now has another hurdle to clear, after the UK Supreme Court ruled the government cannot initiate Brexit without first getting the approval of Parliament. This threatens to draw out an already messy EU divorce. The court ruled 8-3 that Parliament must first give the green light before Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty can be invoked. It also ruled that Brexit doesn't need approval from the kids, aka the Scottish, Welsh and Northern Irish parliaments. May's office is expected to submit a tightly worded bill as early as next week. The bill will then need approval from the House of Commons before it is rubber-stamped by the House of Lords. It's unlikely that Parliament will have the bollocks to block Brexit. The latest chapter in the Brexit drama is really nothing more than a pissing contest. That delays the inevitable. Of far greater concern for Brits is how Brexit-related inflation is set to send the price of beer skyrocketing. Better get down the pub now while you can still afford to.